What's up, party rental people? Welcome to the Bounce House Bosses podcast, where real party rental business owners share their stories, struggles, and secrets to success. I'm your host, Tariq Al-Khatib with the Vet Hawk, and here's a quick preview of today's episode.
So we started this, and now it's a booming business, and he is hopefully quitting his job. So I feel like it's your business, but don't worry about your competitors because your work will speak for itself.
Okay. What would you do differently when you started?
I would do it sooner.
Boom. What's up, party rental people? Today I'm joined by Samantha Buck. Super excited to be interviewing her. So Samantha, let's kick right off. Who the heck are you, and why should anybody pay attention to what you have to say? Tell us your story.
Hi, I'm Samantha Buck. Me and my husband own Buck's Party Rentals. We started this business a little bit over 3.5 years ago. So we started in the middle of COVID as kind of like a little side hustle, honestly, to get me out of work. I was kind of in a job that was just, COVID kind of, it was hit or miss in his job as well. So we started this, and now it's a booming business, and he is hopefully quitting his job soon.
Awesome. What, how many inflatables do you guys have?
35.
35. Okay, in 3.5 years. That's pretty impressive. And where are you guys based out
of? Baldwin County, Alabama.
Alabama. Oh, it's a good market. What does your husband do right now?
So he is he works at Chevron. It's a gas and diesel refinery plant. So it's just a plant where they produce gas and diesel and different fuels.
Okay. And then you said you had a job as well when you started, that you quit?
Yes. So I was a probation officer.
Hey,
yeah,
okay.
I was. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yes.
There's a lot of people from a lot of cops start businesses, cops and healthcare workers.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we got to start a Facebook group for you guys.
Yeah.
So, okay. So tell me kind of what got you started into this industry? How did you find out? What made you wake up one day and say, I'm going to buy a bounce house?
So we rented a bounce house for our daughter for her birthday. She's a winter birthday. So it's kind of like not very many options. Bounce house. Great. So we got it, and the guy that dropped it off was super nice. He kind of talked with us a little bit, and he was the only one that would deliver in our area. And we were like, why is there nobody else doing this? Mm-hmm. And so I started looking into it, and then we kind of pushed it back. We're like, that looks risky. Then COVID hit, and I started looking into it more, and I talked my husband into it.
Okay. So you guys, there wasn't a lot of options for you, and you were like, we need your area kind of couldn't use more people because there wasn't as many. Okay, very cool.
Yes.
So now you went from serving your own need, then now you're also serving other people as well in your area, that you're giving them more options. Did you notice like other places pop up after you guys started, or are you guys kind of the newest?
Yes. So, so we were like one of maybe 3 people that would deliver to our area, but all those people had big fees attached, just because we were slightly rural. And then now, of course, there's tons.
Okay. You guys are trendsetters. So, how are you distinguishing yourself from them? Do you work closely with your competition? Do you guys all know each other, or everybody kind of does their own thing?
For the most part, I would say people pretty much do their own thing. We do. So we live in an area where there's a bay between 2 counties, and there is another guy across the bay that I talk to a lot. I don't really like to cross the bay, and he doesn't really like to cross the bay. So we kind of refer people, and I know he's licensed, insured, and does great business. So we talk a lot, but that's pretty much who I talk to.
Okay. What sets you apart from your competitors?
I would say I'm really, really big on customer service. All of our employees, I really push it. I push customer service. I push customer pleasing. I mean, to an extent, of course, but that's just my main thing. Like, it should be a pleasant experience from the beginning of booking to the end at pickup.
Okay. And are you noticing that that's like is that recognized by your customers, or you guys get a lot of 5-star reviews? They mentioned that, or
Yes. If you go through and look at our reviews, they'll compliment our employees like with their just politeness in general or helpfulness, you know, if there's like a power issue or whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
that's awesome. Okay. What do you say to people when they're like, Samantha, you just don't get it. My area's got a bunch of competition. There's a party rental business on every corner. I can't do what you do. What is your philosophy? Like, what did you ever feel that way? Like, I guess when you started, there wasn't many, but does it bother you that other people are getting in? What do you see a lot of people say,
Mhm.
there's people are undercutting. Like, how do you handle that?
So it used to bother me a lot. Yeah, it did because I feel like we've put so much work into it and it's like our like baby business. And so I really try to like take care of it. Recently there's been a business that's like kind of right there in with us. Maybe not with the amount of inflatables, but it seems like they're really putting effort into it. And at first I was like, I don't like this. But then again, like I look at where I started and I mean, I shouldn't be that way. So I feel like it's your business, but don't worry about your competitors because your work will speak for itself. Um, and at the end of the day, everybody needs a water slide or everybody needs a bounce house. There's plenty to go around. So if you put the effort into it, it will be great.
I love the conflict in your voice. Like, I shouldn't feel that way. I
Yeah.
get it. I love your honesty. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
really great. And yeah, I mean, we talk about this a lot. Like with people ask me a lot, like, Tariq, how is it that, my competitor has Event Hawk and then I have Event Hawk? How's that? I'm like, dude, I don't think I've ever had anybody complain that there was not enough work. It's
Right.
usually the opposite. Like, we have to turn our Google ads down because we're booked out, or we don't have enough delivery
Mhm.
guys, or we don't have enough inflatables. So that I do notice that the people who are growing faster have that kind of mindset. There's enough to go around mindset versus it's us versus them. So I think that's appropriate here.
Yeah. And I will say this too, like I would not ever be rude to any other inflatable company because I've had to call somebody before and be like, hey, you know, I need to refer somebody to you or I need our dolly broke. Can you help us out for one thing? You know, something like that. So I feel like that's really important to keep that relationship going.
That's super ironic that your competitor could literally save your reputation in a situation where it's like we're gonna ruin this kid's birthday party if without you. So that's it's definitely worth it to reach out and get some help versus staying on your own island. Absolutely. Last thing on competition, price. How do you handle it when somebody says I found somebody cheaper? I like to ask everybody this question. I love to hear the responses.
I would say do not change your prices for anyone. Um, if you are more expensive, it's really important to point out why you're expensive, or even if it's just $10, because a lot of times that's us. So somebody will say, oh, well, I looked at so and so and they're $10 less than you. And I'll use that little snippet and I'll say, you know, we're licensed, we're insured, and we have 300 5-star reviews. Give us a shot. We would love to earn your business. I mean, it works. It really does.
And when you say snippet, you mean the Event Hawk premium
Mhm.
template,
Yes,
really? And it
yes,
works for you?
yes,
Awesome.
absolutely, it does.
Okay, okay. Awesome. Yeah, I think that it's a lot of times we jump in and we get either defensive or we buckle. Now, does that mean you never give discounts?
No, so we do offer the 5% discount. Like if we're running a pop-up ad or whatever, we definitely honor that, and we do that a lot. But we, you know, if somebody calls and they're like, oh, I'm a single mom, I can't, I don't do it. You know what? I'm so sorry, but you can go to our website and it's 5% off. Like that's, I wouldn't change my prices to,
Yeah,
I don't think that's professional.
absolutely. And if you do change your prices, you are training your customers that your price is negotiable and that they can twist your arm and it's really not professional. I agree. Like they don't do that at the grocery store. They don't do that everywhere else. So by doing that, you're like, hey, my prices are, I'm not, my stuff isn't really worth this much. So yeah.
Right.
And yeah, I agree. Awesome. How is your season in Alabama? Are you guys busy like all year round, or is it?
So I would definitely say we have like March through October is great. Now, I mean, March is not July. But and like this year the weather's been abnormally warm. So April's been our best month so far, ever. But December, January, February, not great. But we try to work on like Google ads then, and we try to ramp it up to where it's better, but it's still not the best.
Got it. So let's talk about your success. So you're definitely somebody that's grown exponentially. What would you say is your secret sauce? What do you give the most credit to? How did you really grow to where you were able to quit your job and now your husband's at the point where he's almost ready to quit his job?
I would say definitely trust the process and ads. That has been a game changer for us. I will never forget last March when I was actually sitting in this room and I had my little iPad pulled up and I was had the app open and my husband was at work and we had just started Google Ads like with you guys. I think
Which app did you have open?
The Event Hawk app,
Okay,
like
we
where
got that.
the texting app where people can text in. And I was getting so many messages that I texted him and I said, I don't know what we're going to do, but we've got to do something because we're getting booked out and it's March. And he was like, great, I'll order more slides. Like, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. And so that's what we did. And I just think putting your trust in the ads, and we've now added Facebook ads with you guys, and that helps a lot. It's just trust the process. And I think being consistent with your, whatever your slogan is just the key. I mean, just stay true to customer service or customer satisfaction, whatever. Don't quit the ads in the off season because I don't think that we ever turned our ads off. I might be wrong, but I don't think we did. And that really did it for us.
So you're saying like ever since you started before the Google Ads, things were kind of, do you feel they were slower? And then all of a sudden when you turned on Google Ads, did you have Event Hawk before then without the Google Ads or?
Yes. So I think we had the app for maybe 6 months before we got it, but it was nothing. I mean, now I hate to say nothing. It was just, there was significant growth that can't be denied. I mean, it was just,
When you trust the
very
process.
different. Mm-hmm.
It's I tell like our sales team when they talk to people are like, well, I just want the pop-up. I'm like, dude, it's not like it looks great, but if there's nobody on your website, it's not going to do anything for you. So it sounds like you're perfect example of trusting the process versus not and seeing that difference. I love that we were able to do that for you. That's awesome. What was there ever a time when you kind of doubted the process and you were like, I don't know if this whole thing with Event Hawk is working out? Did it take like a little while to ramp up?
Um, I think, I mean, so it was March when I think it was like the beginning of March when we started Google Ads with you guys. And then, like I said, it was probably the third week of March last year that it was just like all of a sudden, and I will never forget that night. But it's not that I didn't trust the process. I was just kind of like, I wonder if this is going to work. I mean, there definitely were thoughts, because you're putting money out there hoping to get it in return. But it's a no-brainer for us. I mean, my husband now, Kyle, texts me and be like, I want to push everything, whatever they've got, do it. It works. So
I love it. So if you could go back and do one thing different, what would you do differently when you started?
I would do it sooner. So
Do what sooner exactly? Like the ad specifically or everything?
everything. So we had a basic website, and then we contacted you guys to do the website, the app, all that. And I wish that we would have done it 2 years sooner, because we had just the basic booking website for probably a year and a half before we swapped to you guys and IO. And it I mean, it just, like I was reading the book. So I bought Bounce House School, you know, the day it came out or whatever. And I was reading the book and I was like, man, if I would have had this 2 years ago. So, yeah.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that we're helping so much. And the business coaching team, your name actually comes up a lot, like Samantha Buck, this, that. I'm
Oh,
like,
really?
that's why I'm like, okay, this is somebody that I'd love to interview, because what they say about, like, they use people like you, and specifically you. I got to give you kudos, because Lionel mentions you as an example. He's like, if they would, like, we just need them to do like Samantha. And I'm like,
Oh,
Samantha. So I think you are also trusting the process now, to where I think you're meeting with our business coaches regularly and you're following their advice. And it sounds like your husband's on board. What do you
yeah.
say to that? Can you like, what is it like working with Lionel and the business coaching and all that?
I definitely love the once a month phone calls. That's amazing. I think it kind of helps, like, because a lot of times, you know, you do the quarterly meetings or whatever, and those are great. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes, um, it's just the once a month thing is like really helpful. And I can think of things, not like in that one meeting where it's like quarterly. I feel like I can just get more in once a month, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Kind of like what's going on right now, like not what happened 3 months ago.
I see.
But yeah, he gives really great advice and I try to follow it. I try to post and do all the things that he suggests we do. Um, but it's been great and I love it and I'll keep doing it.
Love it. Love it. Have you hired any help for the office side, or is it just
No,
you right now? Not yet.
I
Okay.
do it all. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I
Well,
even put out slides.
do you help with the deliveries
Oh
as
yeah.
well? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's
Just
talk
one
about your
sec.
family. Like, what's your family's involvement in the business? So it's you and your husband doing the deliveries as well? Kid?
So he, just because he works a lot right now, he's kind of out. On his off days, he does work with us. Like Easter weekend, we were booked out. Like there was nothing left. So he did help that weekend, but we have 4 kids too. So I mean, of course, the 12-year-old he'll help occasionally, but you know, he'd much rather be doing something else.
Oh, I know what that's like.
Yeah.
At what point did you realize, like, wow, this is not just a side hustle. This could be a thing for us. What was like your proudest moment, that aha moment? Was like, whoa.
Um, I mean, really and truly watching your videos. I think when one day it was a video that you made about quit letting the business run you and you run your business, that really spoke to me. Just because sometimes I'm really controlling. And so I want to be at every delivery and every stop and make for sure. But when you have 35 things going out, you can't do that. And so that was one thing. When I heard you say that, I was like, okay, I have to step back. I have to hire my first full-time employee. And I was like, we could do this. We could really do this. So yeah.
Was it scary to hire? Like, it's scary, right? Like, to hire somebody, like, I got to pay them, and then what if they don't do it the way I would do it? How did you overcome that?
Um, so he's been with us from the very beginning. So he's really good. He's very trustworthy. And I think that's super important to have somebody that's trustworthy. Even, even though he's young, we have a good relationship. And, um, I feel like when you hire your first employee or full-time, you know, whatever, 30, 40 hour a week guy, you need to be able to trust them and pull back yourself
Hmm.
so that they feel a little bit of ownership.
Okay.
um does that make sense? Like,
So what kind of tasks do you have him doing? Like, are you having, like, kind of help you run the business? Doesn't sound like he's just a delivery guy. Sounds like he's helping you
no.
run.
So he helps me look at the schedule. Like instead of me just telling him do this and this, he actually went on a trip with me to Bounce Wave inflatable sales. They had like a little thing where they were showing some products. I had him help me like pick out products. And then I had him look at schedules with me, what routes would be best. Since you're the one out there, what do you think?
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
And then I have him help me with like maintenance. He does all the trucks. He checks maintenance for that every day. And that's it.
Is he naturally handy?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Take him in there, please.
Okay.
And take him in there. Go, please. No.
I'll be surprised if you don't see my kids busting in here wrestling in a little bit. So it happens.
Yeah.
That's the business we're in.
Yes.
That's good. So yeah, is he like a family friend, or did you like hire him off the website?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So it is a little different for us because he is my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, so he started with us in high school. Like when we first started, he was in high school, and we were weekend warriors together. And but he's in college now, and he is responsible, and I hope he's with us for a while. But yeah, so
that's really cool. What's been your biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge is probably a mindset when problems occur. I think, like say, like for instance, I'll just give an example. Last 4th of July, 4th of July is crazy for inflatables. We had a trailer blow a tire. The wheel bearings went out. And so we went from 2 crews to 1 on the 4th of July. And instead of like letting that get you down and be like, oh my gosh, we're not gonna be able to do this. We're not gonna be able to, you just push through it. You just improvise, adapt, and overcome. And that's something my parents taught me at a young age. So I think that as long as you can do that, no matter what happens, you can really build your business. As long as you kind of keep that positive, pushing forward mindset, that you can do it.
Love that. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. So how do you do that? That sounds, I'm getting stressed out right now thinking about it. 4th of July, you have a blown trip and all these things happening the day of the busiest day of the year. Like how do you not start getting gray hairs from, I'm going to be late to all these deliveries, I'm going to ruin all these parties, all these people are going to be pissed off and ask for refunds and leave bad reviews? Like, how do you break that down?
Yes. So you can basically, we I just took a minute, and actually it was raining too on top of that. I'll never forget it. So all tire shops are closed 4th of July. We have a shop, and so we had 1 crew go to the shop, get the tire, come back. We swapped a trailer. Like it was just a whole thing. But I think the biggest thing in that situation was communicating with the customers.
Okay.
We did not have 1 bad review that weekend, and we did not have 1 refund issued because we just called and explained, and we got about 2 hours behind, but we got it done. So
I love that. I think you're so right. People think that these customers wake up in the morning like, I'm going to mess with the bounce house people today.
Yeah.
They're just like us. And I love what you just said. It's so crazy how much you can resolve by just calling and being empathetic and a human. Like, I'm so sorry, Samantha. You won't believe we're having such a terrible, these things are happening. Don't worry, I'm on it. I just wanted to call and give you a heads up that we're going to be late and working on it. Thank you so much for understanding. And it's crazy. I'm like, oh my God, no problem. No, I totally understand. That sounds terrible. And then people are like, how can we help? You need me to come up in my truck and help you guys? I'm like, wow. And all you had to do was just communicate versus show up 5 minutes late without communicating.
Right.
And all hell breaks loose. Or you could show up, like you said, 2 hours late and just communicate, and they'll be understanding. So I think you're absolutely right on point. Communication goes a long way.
Yeah, it really does.
So I don't want to, like, are you and your husband, like, are you guys like fire and ice? Is one of you guys being like losing it and the other person's like, hey, it's gonna be okay. Like, cause
Yeah.
dynamic here. I'm not, I can be either. My wife and I kind of trade places sometimes. You guys have that dynamic?
Yes. So I tend to be more like positive, like how can we fix this? And he's like, oh my gosh, like what are we gonna do? All these people are gonna be mad and we have no tire, or I'm just trying to think like what else could go wrong kind of thing, he's kind of he has more anxiety of that type stuff,
Yeah.
whereas I'm like, it'll be fine, we'll fix it. So yeah.
Wow, as you guys are so lucky to have each other. That's great that you guys balance each other out. Because it's funny. I want to say I'm like him sometimes, and she's like
Yeah.
but sometimes I'm the other way. It depends. We have
Yeah.
different triggers, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah. So with me, like when the guys are late and stuff, I'll get pissed. But my wife has such a great relationship with the guys. She's like, dude,
Yeah. That's me.
you're gonna be okay. They're late. It's fine. The customers, because they always sleep in, and I'm like, oh, we need to fire them and all that. I get like, I have such a high standard. I don't think I didn't even realize that you could call off of work till like way into like, you could just do that. Just call in and be like, I don't feel like coming in today. I'm not going to be in and make something up. And these kids are doing it every other day. So it really bothers me when people don't show or they're late. Where she's,
Right.
dude, it's going to be fine. So but with customers, she can't, like, like all this to say, she's really good with the inside of the business anxiety. I'm really good with the customers. She freezes when it's time to talk to a customer. I'm like, dude, chill, just call the customer. It's like, I can't call them, you call. So it's really
Yeah.
to understand, like you said, it's not a bad thing. You have
Right.
different strengths. I think it's really cool to know that.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have that as well. Let's talk about marketing. So you said like your ads and stuff. What would you say to somebody who says, I'm just not ready for marketing yet? Um, when do you think is the right time? What do you say to those people who are watching this right now, who are like, should I hire a vet hawk? Is it too soon? Should I consider something else? Should I try to do it myself? What would you say to those people?
I would say if they want to be serious about it, then it's never too early. I mean, what are you waiting for? That's what I would say. Do you want to make money or do you not want to make money? Um, you have to spend money to make money, clearly, in this business. So I mean, the inflatables rent themselves. I mean, if you're doing the right things, you're cleaning them, I don't know. Like I said, I wish I would have done it from the get-go. And I think it makes you look more professional too. I mean, if you're doing all the other professional things, why wouldn't you do the professional thing and advertise?
How were you advertising before? Because a lot of people are like, well, I can do it myself. I can pass out flyers. It'll work just as well. Did you do any other different forms of advertising before hiring us?
The only thing that we did was Facebook, just posting on our page, word of mouth, but nothing compares. So,
Okay.
yeah.
You had to chase those people back and forth messages. It gets
Mhm.
frustrating, right?
And marketplace, and honestly, you don't want those customers anyway. I mean, now I say that some of those customers are great, and we still have some of our original marketplace customers, but I think your better customers are going to come from your, ads.
I think honestly, I'll get a lot of hate for saying this, but I do think marketplace has a place when you're just starting out. Marketplace is great for giving you that oh snap moment where, hey, this is a real I can actually do this. Because you got to get that first delivery under your belt, and if you're gonna wait for everything to be perfect. So I do think marketplace is good.
Pause, hold up. Hey, if you're enjoying the podcast, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, do whatever you got to do down there. And if you know somebody who you think can benefit from this, please go ahead and share this with them. It's a lot of work doing all this for free, so it would help us if you went ahead and shared it. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to work with Event Hawk to get the results like these guys were getting, or if you just want some of our freebies, go ahead and comment the word podcast or text the word podcast to 708-401-6465. Again, that's 708-401-6465. And when you comment or text the word podcast, we'll send you all of the resources from this episode and other episodes for things like the Bounce House School book, how to book a call or book a demo with Event Hawk to see if we can help you with your party rental business, how to get 0% funding so you guys can buy more inventory and have a dirty warehouse like me, and how to get just our templates and all of our freebies. So with that, thank you again for watching. Back to the show.
Good. Just to get, it's a good first place to start, but you do have to outgrow quick. We actually drove past, and this is the best way I could describe it. We drove past a flea market. I don't know if they have flea markets where you're at, but it's like you go, and that's honestly, that's what marketplace is. You don't go to a flea market to get premium stuff. You go there to haggle. Like literally, when I think flea market, that's a place where I can go to get discounts and to haggle with people and get really great stuff at a really low price. That's
Right.
the mentality. It's not that they're bad people. Like a lot of times when I need stuff, I'll go to marketplace. Let me see if they have this or that. But I don't, if that's not where I go for premium stuff. And in all honesty, I fully intend to haggle with those people and get the best deal possible versus when I go to a dealership or when I go to the store, I know I'm paying full price and I'm not going to blink. So I think it's not necessarily bad, but you just have to know what kind of customers and that you can get there. And the people that you do find on Google Ads are the people that are more serious. They're going to your website. They know you're going to have a price and you have, taxes and all these things. So totally agree. It's
Right.
it does get serious. Do you think that like you have to have a certain amount of inflatables before you start? People are like, hey, sorry, maybe next year when I have more inflatables or anything like that. Like when do you think people should get a website and really be serious about marketing? At what point?
I feel like if they're serious and they want this to be their business, then it should be pretty important early on. I mean, obviously, if you're not paying for insurance and you're not paying to have a license and all that, don't do it. You need to wait until you're doing the right. That's just my opinion, but you need to do the right things first and then do it. But if we would have marketed like we did now 2 years ago, I feel like we would have 50 inflatables. Because right now I want to add 6 more. I mean, we booked out last weekend completely, the weekend before, and this weekend. So at that point, it's kind of like the marketing's working, so we need to grow. That's my opinion. I always want to do more. So unless they're just happy with, whatever they're getting on the weekends, I feel like if you want your business to be professional, I don't think it's ever too early to start.
Are you does your husband ever give you a hard time for buying too much stuff? Are you the one that just spends and he's like, maybe we need to slow down?
We balance each other out there too, because he'll say, let's buy this. And I'm like, we don't need to, let's wait. But then sometimes he'll see an invoice pop up on our email and he'll text me and be like, what are you doing? But I mean, I'll do the printout, on IO where it shows your ROI and all that. And it just speaks for itself. I mean, you can't beat it.
What have you ever made any purchases that you regret or things that just didn't rent?
No, I don't think I have. Well, we did buy a used inflatable early on that I regretted pretty quickly. So that one, it was just a used combo unit and it was like year 1. And I was like, oh, this is a great deal. And it's just not like buying new, and it's just, you want to provide your customers with like great things. And I think we sold it probably within a year of having it.
Okay. What would you, if you could go back to day one, what would you start with?
In our area, water slides.
Water slides, okay.
Yeah. We rent water slides from March to November. So now, I mean, of course, if it's cold in November, nobody's getting a water slide, but we had probably 10 water slides in November this past year. So I would say be basic, water slide, bounce house, obstacle, small obstacle. Obstacles do really well here too. So don't count those out. I think we have 5 obstacle options now, and they do really well.
Are you Do you have any tents or tables, chairs, anything like that?
We do. We have 20 by 20 high peak tents.
What?
Yeah, we have
That's
two.
awesome.
Yeah, and they go out. So we love it. And we have a lot of tables and chairs too. So yeah.
I didn't realize you do those big tents. How
Mhm.
is that? We struggle with that because it's not really struggle, but our guys really prefer to do the bounce houses because it's much easier. So they're
Really?
when we send two crews out, like, oh, please take me off of tent crew. Please let me go on a bounce house crew. I'm like, come on, dude. So
Yeah.
you guys was it like a learning curve? Are you having to go on every one of those?
Yes. So of course, control freak, had to go out for every tent rental in the beginning because control. And I wanted it done correctly. But I mean, me and one other guy can put it up no problem.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
20 by 20s are I
Yeah.
wouldn't go bigger. They're easier to lift, but they can get heavy. How long does it take you to set up a 20 by 20 tent?
15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are quick.
The door. Shut the door. Yeah, I would say 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, yeah, with staking and all that.
Are you guys, the cool thing about tents is the order really starts to add up because the tables, the chairs, all that. Okay.
Yeah, and I would say too, that's another great thing about the snippets. And I think maybe I can't remember if it's in there or if Lionel added this for me. I can't remember, so don't get mad at him. But Lionel added a thing where after like a week before somebody's event, he'll say, "Hey, would you like to add tables and chairs?" Should have done that a year ago.
Really? We have ours off because we stopped offering like a lot of add-ons. But I
Mhm.
was just talking to my office manager today as well, and I was telling her we should turn it back on because now we got a bunch of stuff. It works well for you then. Okay.
Yep. So the text went out today for this weekend, and I've had 5 people add tables and chairs.
What? Okay, I'm going into your account. I'm gonna find out exactly what you say because wow, that's
Yeah.
okay. Very cool.
Yeah. And it may just be like 12, but I mean, 12 5 times adds up. And you're
Yeah,
already
yeah.
going there anyways.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna check that out because
Okay.
we stopped the add-ons just because we didn't want to do like cotton candy and all that. I stopped doing all that.
Yeah.
Oh, you
I
don't do that either?
no,
Okay.
I don't like cotton candy, food, snow cone. We quit all that. Our employees hated it.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
I think is the worst.
right. And then we would have people like customers take them in their house and then wouldn't bring them out. And it was just a big ordeal. So waste of time, in my opinion. And so the tables and chairs really helps though.
All right. Do you guys do pop-up tents?
We do.
Okay. Do you offer those as an add-on or how do you rent those like stand?
We do. We have $100 minimum order though. So, if they got a pop-up tent and a couple tables and chairs, that would add up to be the minimum. So
How do you do your logistics? So let's talk about logistics. Like so you're answering all the phones, right? You do all the sales, and then what happens next? What day do you deliver? Do you deliver the day of, day early? When do you do your pickups? Talk to me a little bit about that. How's that been going?
So
35. I mean, that's a
yeah,
lot.
it is. So like I said, for the busy Easter weekend, we had 2 crews going. So we had 4 guys and me. I stayed home in the office because you know how people are, they'll call last minute or, hey, are they 5 minutes away? Are they an hour away? All that. So I stayed back to answer those type phone calls and to deal with that. But then a typical weekend, I do that as well. I stay back. We deliver on Friday for Saturday. And then if it's a full weekend rental, we don't pick up until Monday morning. If it's a Saturday or a Sunday rental, we try to do it the day of, or at least by 9 o'clock that day, if not the day before. It just kind of varies.
Do you charge, like, do they have to pay for the overnight or do you just include that like you're doing a full day rental?
So for us, if they are getting it all weekend, it's $100 extra for like a slide or something.
Okay, so you have an all weekend rate where they can get it basically all day Saturday and all day Sunday. You'll
Mhm.
drop off Friday and pick up Monday?
Yes.
For an extra $100. Okay, cool.
Now we did, so in the off season, we were kind of slow. We ran a special in February. If you book before February 28th, you can get it all weekend for the price of one day.
Hmm.
And we honored that, for the whole year, but not many people did it. So those have kind of phased out now, but, just to kind of, that, in my opinion, cuts down employees working. And, that way we only have guys going out on Friday and Monday, but during the slow time. But we try our best to deliver as much as we can on Friday and then get everything delivered on Saturday by lunch. And then we start after lunch on Sunday deliveries.
What percent of people would you say take the $100 all weekend rate?
Ooh, that's
Would
tough.
you say like a lot of people say yes, or like 20%?
Probably 20%. Yeah. Not a ton.
So
But-
then are most of yours same day pickup then? Because that could be a nightmare to have to pick up 20 rentals that the night
No.
of.
We'll just pick it up the next day.
You just pick it up. Okay, so even though they didn't pay for it, you'll still pick it up the next day.
Yes. It's just too much to do in one day, in my opinion. So I just add it to the next day. And then after they do their like daily deliveries for that day, if like somebody's parties on that day, we do pickups after that to finish their day.
Got it. So then would you call the customer, like what do you tell the customer if you're just going to leave it overnight? You just
Yes. So we always, like I said, communication's big. So I always communicate with the customer. I'll just say, hey, look, we really are busy today, or we got behind XYZ. Would you mind if we pick it up tomorrow? If this is an inconvenience, please let me know. That's just, typically they're like, oh, thanks for the extra time or whatever, but it really helps us out.
okay, got it. Yeah, and they're basically getting, because they were offered the overnight, they didn't pay for it, but now they're getting it for free. Do you word it that way or no? Or do you just
We don't do an overnight charge.
okay, you just do all weekend.
We just do a 24-hour rental. So,
All
but
your rentals are 24 hours?
yeah.
Okay. Oh, so interesting. So then whatever you deliver Saturday, then you pick up Sunday whenever you feel like it. There's no okay, so you don't really do anything at night unless like for that day, unless it was from the day before.
Right.
Okay. And that's worked well for you. That's
Yeah. We've definitely had some late nights. Don't get me wrong, and early mornings, but we try to make it work the best we can. And that's another thing I would say too, is just the communication is super important with a customer, because some customers don't want it laying there on their grass. We have one lady specifically. She is an awesome customer. She rents from us like 8 times a year, but she loves her grass, and we will go back and pick it up for her. And I would do it for anybody if they communicated that. But again, communication's key.
absolutely. So how do you price this 24-hour thing? Is that common in your market, or you don't care? You're just like, this is what's working for me.
No, it's pretty common. There's one competitor he's big and he's been in the business for 20 years. So I don't really even compare myself to him. But I think he does 10-hour rentals maybe. But from talking with people, I think they pretty much do 24.
Okay.
They do overnight and pick up the next day.
That's a great value add, because if I'm looking at two people and your price is a little higher, I'll say, yeah, but this guy is like, we do 6-hour rentals. We usually leave it overnight too, but I think it's good for us to also consider like our price is one of the highest in the area, but we can justify to say, well, you get a 24-hour rental with this other guy you're comparing us with, you're getting 6 hours. So I think that's a really cool way to get the rate that you want without having to really sell yourself, because well, you're getting it for a full day. I think that's really cool that that's working for you guys.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, let's talk about goals and motivations. What's the goal for 2025, and what keeps you going? What's motivating you this year?
What's motivating me is that my husband really wants to quit his job, and he's like, no pressure, but I want to quit. So marketing is super important for 2025 for us. Schools, events are super important to us, because that's really where you make your money. I mean, yes, backyard parties for sure are important too, but marketing for those events and bigger ticket items are what's going to allow him to quit his job.
Okay.
Now money wise, are you looking for a number on what
Not,
we're
not, not
okay?
necessarily number, I guess. Okay, so how are you, what's your plan for getting those big schools and events?
Face-to-face interaction. So I have we've started doing this thing where we put together baskets for schools, and it's got a pamphlet in there, but it's got like Skittles, energy drinks, candy bars. And I go to the front desk and I say, "Can I put this in the teacher's lounge?"
What?
Of course, they say yes.
Nobody's gonna throw that out, right?
Yeah. And so then I print off 100 pieces of paper that have a 5% off coupon for teachers. And I leave it right there beside the basket. So they grab candy and they get the coupon and they call us. And then a lot of times they're PTA or they're involved in a church or something and they'll call.
Wow. So you will, so you're basically giving them something, you're giving them the snacks, the candy, and then you're just leaving like a coupon next to it, and they just
Mm-hmm.
that's the what is it? The law of reciprocity, where
Mm-hmm.
how does that go? People when you give people something, they feel like they have to give back. So it's like, I take
Yes.
this chocolate bar and walk away. Let me take that coupon and call them the next time I need a bounce house, because you feel bad. That's really
Yeah.
cool. How
Yeah.
how long have you tried this already? Has it worked?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we started doing it last year. I think last year when we printed out all the school brochures and we emailed them, or excuse me, we didn't email them, the letters. We mailed out all the letters, like 200, and it worked. We definitely got phone calls from it, but by me showing my face, it made a big difference.
Yeah.
Um, and people kind of put a face with a name, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's so and so who came up here." It just helps.
And the letters are those art templates that
Mhm.
you sent
Yeah.
out? Okay, cool. So that worked for you. But yeah, absolutely. So you did the letters, because we do the letters, but I'm not going face to
Mhm.
face. So that's in addition to the letters, you're going in and you're following up and putting something like that. Really?
Mhm.
And they're just letting you go into the teacher's lounge, or they're taking it?
It just depends. I mean, like some people are like local and I like know them
All
and they'll
right.
let me take it in there or whatever. But some people will just say, I'll ask, "Hey, will you put this in the teacher's lounge for us? We would love to do business with you guys in the future." Yada yada. So
That's really cool.
yeah.
Really smart way. And how many schools are you planning to do that with this year? Or do you have a list, or what's your
We have booked at least 15 schools so far for May.
wow.
So I haven't, like, teacher appreciation week for us is next week. And that's when I'll start visiting schools next week. I have it like a list of who I go see each day. But yeah.
Now, isn't it late in the year now that it's already like are you planning to get these schools? Are you hoping to get them to book with you for like their field day, or what's the goal here?
So it's probably late for field day at this point, but these are schools that have booked for this May are schools that I visited in like December already
Okay.
or August of last year. Like I've already done this twice.
Okay, hold on. So you go there so you're right, like August and December, you'll hit the same school twice, or okay. So you hit them August, December. When do you send your letters?
We sent our letters in February, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so August you're visiting in person, December you're visiting in person, letters go out in February, and then they're like, okay, this is the third. Okay, got it. And that's worked for you. That's really cool.
Yeah. And I mean, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't want to spend the money." And I kind of felt that way at first. Like the first time I think I took waters
Okay.
and dropped them off because it's not expensive. But then I've mixed it up and done donuts. I've, done several different things. Donuts are cheap. You can get donuts pretty inexpensive. But I think it's important. Just visit and go for it. I mean, all they can do is tell you no.
Yeah. Do you have a budget that you try to stick to per school, or not really?
Oh, no.
No.
I mean, I try to spend probably under $50 for each school.
Okay.
Um,
Pretty generous. Oh,
but it's worth it if you're getting that $1,000 ticket. I mean, it's worth it.
absolutely. I love that. And teachers, they work hard, and they're people just like us. So that's really cool. And I love that you're transparent too. It's not like you're trying to sneak your way in there. It's like, hey, we'd love to do business with you guys. Here's something just to say thank you guys for even, considering us. And you're
Right.
walking away and just letting your good karma take over from there.
Right.
I love
Yeah.
it. And the fact that it's working is so cool. Congratulations. That's really
Yeah.
great. So you're
Thank you.
planning on doing a lot more of that this year then?
Yep.
What about like businesses or churches? Do you have the same plan for that or something?
I've definitely visited churches, but they're typically, it's not many people, anybody there. So I just take the door hangers. We've got a bunch of those, and I'll stick them on there. I send out a lot of emails to churches, but I don't necessarily go inside and drop stuff off like I do schools.
Do you do a lot of follow-ups like on phones or emails or just kind of
So I don't follow up unless they don't book.
okay?
So like today I called 2 schools that booked with us last year, but I haven't heard from them since. So, and they booked with us the past 2 years. So I was just calling to see like what's going on. One school, they were like, we're not really sure if it's in our budget. So I'm trying to work with them on that. And the other school hadn't called me back.
Okay.
So, I would say following up. Yes, you definitely need to do that.
Do you do that? Do you do that in Event Hawk or Inflatable Office, like where you go through and follow up, or that's tough for us. Like
It is.
it's when you're getting so many phone calls in, it's tough to remember to go back.
Yes, it is. I just go back and print out every school we've ever done business with and just try to make sure I call them.
Not the regular customers though. You don't do that for every single regular customer.
No.
Okay.
No.
What about, so as we wrap up here, what is your sales process like? Talk to me like how confident are you or how successful are you at closing a sale? Are you doing most of your sales over the phone, through text? How's that working and how do you do it?
I would say it's through the text, through the
Really?
event
Okay.
app. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you're booking more through text than through, okay. So through Event Hawk, you're texting them closing the sale without ever talking to them, or do you talk to them at some point?
I would say at least 75% of people I talk to personally.
Okay.
And I I send a little snippet. Hey, saw you're on the website. What's your date or whatever? And I try to keep it pretty sweet and simple. They'll give me a date and I'll say, looking for anything in particular. They'll respond. I'll send it. And then typically they book. If somebody ever gives me trouble or, oh, you're too expensive, I'll send the little thing, give us a try. I had somebody today, we picked up their inflatable this morning at 8 o'clock and she texted me at like 12 and said, everything was so good. I want to book again right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a first, but yeah, it was great. And it was all through the app. And, I love the app.
Well, you just said you talked to 75% of them.
Yes. Through the app, just
through the
like,
app. Okay, so not through the phone. Okay,
right. Yeah.
this is interesting because like we find that we book, like we try to talk to every person. I have an office manager. When I was like I do not want to talk. It was just getting crazy because like you said, you have to run the business, so you can't be on the phone all day because you could talk to 5 people
Hard.
through the Event Hawk app, but you pick up the phone, you're on the phone with somebody for 15 minutes, missing calls. So 100%. Now that I have an office manager, I tell her, you need to call every single person, even if they're just texting, just to like, we're going to take every shot we can. But I love that you're successful at it through the app. Do you have any, I guess, what are some of your tips or best, what are you finding works best through the app? What makes you so good at selling through the app? Is it just because, hey, Event Hawk's great, thank you, but some people don't do well with Event Hawk, and I do think like there is it's a partnership. Like you have to do your part too. So
Yeah.
what do you say? What do you think that is?
So I would think the biggest thing is you need to communicate. Like no matter what time it is, I respond. Maybe not 10 o'clock at night, but I have in the past. But I respond. If I'm at my kid's softball game, I respond. If I'm at church, I don't do it at church, but
Wow.
yeah, like within an hour. But it's like when that window closes, that 15-20 minute window, and they don't get a response from you, they're moving on.
Yes.
Answer their questions promptly. I just think that's really important.
Absolutely. There's actually, and I'm so glad you mentioned that because there's actually in sales, I think it's called time to lead. They say it's the most important factor. Doesn't matter what the time that it takes you to respond to a lead is the number one thing. And
Mhm.
we do have people where like Lionel will get on with them and they're like, oh, I'm not getting results with Event Hawk, blah blah, and we'll get on with them like, dude, you're responding to people literally a day later. Like they're not
Oh,
gonna, yeah, you
yeah, no.
well, do you have like, are you trying to like, are you actually responding to people like within 15 minutes? Are you trying to get to them?
Oh, half the time I'm sending it before the 5 minute snippet hits. Like
Yes,
my phone is with me all the time.
it's text. Like that's what a lot of people, we need to, people, the world is moving to text. People are antisocial. They don't want to talk on the phone and they expect instant responses. It's not like an email where you can respond a few hours, even a few hours in the same day, they'll ghost you. So I think you're absolutely right. And I think also, like you just said, you're at your kid's softball game. That's where they're going to be in an hour. Right now, they're sitting, they're ready. They have a credit card in their hand right now. They're ready to
Mhm.
book. So if you respond now, you have a much higher chance. In 1 hour, they're going to be at their kid's softball game and they're not going to respond. They're driving their kids around. So I think
Right.
absolutely the speed at which you're responding is very, very important because
Yeah.
the marketing can only do so much. At the end of the day, people buy from you. People, and that's what I tell people when they say, Tariq, me and my competitor both have Event Hawk. How does this work? Dude, it all comes down to you. You got to sell people on yourself because you started this. You have to tell people why you're more expensive. And I think the best way you can say that is without even saying anything, just by responding fast. Them seeing your awesome personality. Like I love to use emojis in our text messages just to let people know, like, hey, we're fun. It's
Yeah.
like texting a friend. We're not very formal, and they're gonna notice a difference without you saying anything. Like that other guy is responding 3 hours later.
Yeah.
I know that Amanda or Samantha, I know that Samantha's going to be
Yeah.
on Saturday. I'm not going to have to wait 3 hours to hear back from her. Clearly, she's
Right.
responding quick. She's going to be getting back to me right away. And I think
Right.
that would I say the biggest thing. Obviously, for a lot of us, if you're working a job, you're replying later. But yeah, that's tough when you're having to choose between, you know, responding quick and getting to your job. How is it with your? And this will be the last thing that we'll wrap up with.
No, you're good.
Talk to me about work-life balance. So family, this is something that I struggled with.
Mhm.
Marriage and kids and work. How are you guys handling all that and balancing?
Um, so
So you're at your kid's softball game and they're like, "Look, you're
yeah.
not looking, mom." And you're like, "I'm
Yeah.
trying to make some money." So
Yeah.
I remember
So
we were like that with gymnastics. That every time they look, I'm down on my phone. I'm like, damn it. She's like, "Dad, you didn't even watch me." I'm like, "I was watching." But
yeah, yeah. So I think like when you go into this business, you are a business owner and you don't get vacation, you don't get a break. Is you just have to have that in the back of your mind because if you're going to run a business, the business is yours. It's no one else's responsibility but yours. So I think that you having the no break mentality, you have to have that or you're not going to make it. And I definitely think like so for me, weekends, I'm answering the phones, I'm doing that. That will never change. But in the middle of the week, I do like when the kids get off the bus, I try to like be present 3 to 8 p.m. before they go to bed. Yes, I'm still texting people. Yes, I'm still answering the phone, but I'm not sitting on the couch doing nothing. I don't know how else to explain that. I mean, they
you
just they know I
you
have to run the business.
you know you have to run a business. Okay. I do find myself sometimes, or I did in the past, it's even now, like with now I'm running Event Hawk and this, but
Mhm.
it's tough. You start to feel that guilt, like,
Mhm.
well, they want nice things, right? They want me to pay the bills and do that, so I have to work. But it's also
Mhm.
harder working from home. It's like they see you and they don't understand that
Right.
mom or dad is working now. And it's
Mhm.
almost like you're home more. Because I used to be in healthcare, like, and I used to be gone. Like sometimes I used to work the night shift, and I'm
Mhm.
telling my kids, like, dude, you guys are lucky that I work from home now. Like, well, you're not. You're at work all day. I'm like, yeah, because it's summer break, and that's when it really gets tough because it's
Yeah.
summer break. They're home all day. I'm like, I don't get a summer break. I have to work. So when I'm in my office 8 hours a day or whatever, this is what I usually do. I don't believe it or not, I don't watch TV the whole time when you're in school. So
Right.
it's that guilt that kind of kicks in, but you're finding that your kids like they're kind of understanding now. Do you have like do you guys do vacations like more in the off season or do you guys try to find time in the busy season?
I mean, yeah, like we try to go on vacation and do stuff every now and then, but right now we're pretty like in getting him out of his job mode. So we're in like cost saving mode. We don't do anything extra. We're save so that he can quit. Because he works like 13 days straight with 1 day off. And
Wow.
so
Wow.
it's rough.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. The kids are pretty understanding. And there are days like, and I'm sure you've done this too, like I'm like, all right, kids, get in the car. We gotta go do a bounce house. Sorry. But and that's another thing I was gonna say, because I see a lot in these groups on Facebook that people don't want to do last minute rentals.
Mm.
I typically do. Because especially if it's close by and already have a crew out working, why not? Because most of the time another company didn't show up or they had a problem with that company. And so they're calling you for help and you're gaining a customer for life sometimes. So I just don't see, I think that's important. If you can do it, do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to do too much to take care of those customers. And sometimes I find that a lot of times the last minute ones they tend to be a pain. They want the
Sometimes,
cheapest
yeah.
price and they want all the things for next to nothing. But no, if somebody did cancel on them, yes, that's a different story. We absolutely,
Yeah.
they're in distress. And you're right. Like you're gaining a customer for
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's
So,
actually happened to us a lot. Like where people call in a panic over a something not delivered.
yeah. Yeah. The marketplace, there's a lot of scams on marketplace.
Yeah. hmm
Well, Samantha, this has been really cool. I think
Yeah.
like, we just no edits, just kind of been just having a good time. I think this you're a natural. I don't know if you've done
Yeah.
this, but
Oh no,
it's
no. As
been
you can
great.
see, the kids coming in and out. No.
Oh, no nonsense. This is hey, we're family. Would you be interested or would you be open to people watching this who are interested in talking to you personally? Would you be open to mentoring some people?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a professional, but I'll try my best.
Oh my God, your wealth of knowledge. All these, I've taken some notes here, honestly, and I'm gonna be snooping in your account.
Oh, go ahead.
Honestly, no, there's always something you can learn. We have a mentor program, and we're growing our list of mentors. But you're definitely, if you're open to it, I'll definitely talk to Lionel about adding you. So we'll add something if you're watching this. I'm sure we'll have it here. But if you text the word mentor to our phone number 708-401-6465, we'll send you guys some information. And if you text the word podcast to the same number, then we could send you some information on EventHawk. We offer party rental marketing to for businesses that are in the party rental industry, from Google Ads to SEO and all that good stuff. So we'll put that overlay here. If you're watching, you'll probably see it. Comment below and all that good stuff. But this has been really great. Thank you, Samantha. Is there anything else you want to wrap up with here?
No, I think it's been great. I just think keep moving forward, and you can do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you again for watching the podcast. Thank you to our guest. Thank you to you guys for watching, for sharing. Don't forget, if you guys want the information and the links and resources mentioned in this episode, go ahead and comment podcast or text the word podcast to 708-401-6465. Again, that's 708-401-6465. And if you're interested in learning about EventHawk services, we'll have a link there to schedule a free demo with us. No commitment. You don't have to commit. Just schedule a time with us and subscribe to this podcast. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys want to see more of, who you guys want me to interview next. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. I'm Tariq with EventHawk. I'll see you on the next one.